Hello, my name is James Landa. I am the Program Development Specialist for our College of Theology here at Grand Canyon University. And I'm so excited to be able to share with you some of the amazing prospects that we have here at GCU that we are using to build up the next generations of Christian leaders here, not just in Arizona, but throughout the United States and hopefully the globe as well. And there's a couple of ways that we're doing that. One of them we're actually standing in right now currently. We are actually in our recording studio here on campus. We are in our main control room. The recording studio features a myriad of different just resources for our students to be able to use and be able to really grasp their calling into full-time ministry. We have 3 rehearsal rooms that our students can use and utilize to build out their own projects. That means if they want to be able to record something, they want to work on some of their musical giftings, if they just want to get some friends together and kind of work on a song with one another, that is a place where they are able to do that, and that is completely included in their tuition cost. In fact, what's really amazing about our worship art studio here as well is that we actually have what's called 100% intellectual property rights, which means whatever a student creates here within the studio is their property. We don't hold any rights to their music. They get to keep their music once they do move on and graduate, which is a huge factor even as we do host and release a worship album every single year from GCU since 2016. You can actually listen to all of those on Apple Music, Spotify, or Google Play. And so really what this whole worship studio is all about is allowing for students to discover the giftings that God has placed in their hearts. And so normally what would happen is I normally wouldn't be here. We'd have our in-studio engineer who'd be right here behind me, and he'd be working and assisting with the student and giving them feedback as they are working together to create a comprehensive project that they can go out and produce and also post on their own. And so what we want to be able to do is not just provide the resources, but also what's most important is the education. And so for our worship arts students, we offer 2 amazing degree options. We offer worship arts with an emphasis in worship ministry, a degree program that's focused on forming the next Christian worship leaders and worship pastors. And that's really important to us, is that word worship pastor. See, we believe that anyone can pick up a piano or a guitar and be a great musician, be great on a band. But what we want to formulate is someone that can be that next generation leader for their congregation, for schools, for nonprofit organizations. And that's what all our worship ministry program is all about. We also understand that there is a new component to ministry. I mean, we're just looking at what's been taking place in our nation in the last couple of months, that there's a whole new need for media and production individuals to be working within the local church. Well, GCU, we actually have a worship ministry degree emphasis in media and production. That's meant to teach you all the behind the scenes aspects of church ministry. That's things like set design, lighting, that's like sound, videography, photography. Everything that we see has now become an integral part of the local church within the last couple of months. But we also don't just have worship, because if it was just worship, I'll be honest, I don't think I would be able to be a part of it. I do not sing a joyful noise unto the Lord. But we do have some amazing Christian studies and Christian ministry degrees, which our students are able to be a part of. In fact, I was a graduate from our College of Theology with a Christian studies degree with an emphasis in biblical studies. So the 2 degree options that we have for students in this field are Christian studies and Christian ministry. Christian Studies is a comprehensive degree program that features 5 emphases which a student can choose from. What this allows a student to do is now they are able to go a little bit deeper or further in their academic study of one area. I like to liken our Christian Studies degree to a IHOP sampler platter. At IHOP sampler platter, you get a little bit of everything. And that's how it is with ministry. Ministry is not just limited to one area. There's a lot of components of ministry. And so for a young person who may be interested in ministry, Christian Studies offers the opportunity for students to now have a lot of options and a lot of area of study, just like a sampler platter. They're able to go a little bit within global ministry, a little bit within the biblical interpretation, some public speaking, so that a student could be nice and well-rounded when they're ready to step into the ministry field. And those 5 emphases that I talked about earlier, those include areas like youth ministry, global ministry, worship ministry. Those are things like philosophy as well. And so all of these, and biblical studies, so all of these allow a student to have the access points and the ability to really focus on their particular emphasis of ministry while also exploring and having the opportunity to go a little bit deeper and further. And lastly, I mentioned we have Christian ministry. You might be thinking to yourself, as church has moved on and we see how ministry kind of works, Ministry is a very hands-on proposition. We do a lot working with what? People. Ministry is people. If there's no people, there's no ministry. And so what Christian ministry offers is that Christian studies is going really deep into the academic side of theology. We're going to understand the historical value, the missional value. Christian ministry is saying, now what about the people? I want to be more hands-on. I want to have lab experiences. I want to have an internship and be able to have that built in within my curriculum. Then Christian ministry may be a great option for a young person who's saying, I want to learn what it means to be working within the local church. And lastly, I want to mention one of our, probably the biggest program that we are happy to be launching this past year was our Barnabas program. This transformational pastoral development program has allowed students to graduate in 5 years with both their bachelor's in Christian studies or Christian ministry and their Master of Divinity. Now a student who may have been limited by job opportunities based upon their Christian studies, Christian ministry degree can now have access to more opportunity, have access to high-class faculty, and have their Master of Divinity within a 5-year period. And we're not just focusing on the academic side of it. What we want to create a program that is going to transform a student from a student of theology to a teacher of theology, to someone now that can actually go and be a pastor within the local church. So we're actually partnering with local churches to assist us in this great commission as we hope to have 500 students in the next 5 years go through this program or be a part of this program as we move forward to having pastors go all throughout our entire country. And so if you have an amazing student that might be interested in something like this, I would greatly implore you to maybe reach out to our representatives. They are some amazing people that are going to be able to assist you and assist that student who may have that heart and calling to full-time ministry. And I didn't even get to mention the best part of this program. The best part of this program is this, is that GCU will cover the 5th year of your tuition. So not only will you graduate with your bachelor's and your master's degree in 5 years, you will also have your 5th year scholarship in a program that normally takes up to 7 to 8 years. And so we have a lot of exciting prospects happening within our College of Theology as we aim to continue to innovate and find new ways to bring up the next generation of Christian leaders.